everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and today we're going to make a super cute sign using window clings from Dollar General. So I grabbed some of these window clings for $1 at Dollar General, and they're super cute with the red trucks. They also have these at Walmart. They also have them at Dollar Tree. So they're pretty much anywhere. So if you can't find these exact ones, you can improvise and use one from another store. These ones are the ones from Walmart, and they were 98 cents. And these are the ones that were offered at Dollar Tree. And they're obviously $1. I grabbed a piece of wood. It's just a scrap piece of wood. It's 15 inches long and it's 1.5 inches thick. I used a thicker piece because I wanted it to stand on its own. I made a little bow by just taking pieces of burlap, cutting them into strips. I used a strip of green ribbon and a strip of buffalo check red ribbon, and just tied them all in the center with a piece of twine. I grabbed a pick from Walmart or Dollar Tree. I'm not sure where the pick came from. And you'll need some white acrylic paint. You'll need some Mod Podge. And I used some Glamour Dust, but you don't need it. So the first thing I did was dry brush some white onto the bottom of the board. And this board I pre-stained using a dark walnut stain. And then once I dry brushed on the quote-unquote snow, I just used a rag and wiped off the excess. And now we're going to Mod Podge this window cling right onto the sign right along the snow that we made on the bottom. So I took the Mod Podge and I ran it across the center where I was going to put my truck. And I made sure I got a decent amount on there. And then I applied some to the back side of the window cling. And these stick surprisingly well to wood. I was kind of unsure, and it actually worked out really great. So I put a nice thick coat onto the window cling, and then I set it right in the center of my wood. And I just used my fingers to spread it out, which didn't take a lot of effort. Once you have it on there, you're going to want to Mod Podge over it because they are kind of shiny, so you want to dull it over with the matte Mod Podge, which most the Mod Podges are matte finish unless you buy specifically a gloss finish one. So the window clings are glossy, and I didn't want it to be glossy. I wanted it to be, more rustic looking, so I applied a coat of the Mod Podge right over the window cling. And then I took a little of the Glamour Dust and I just added it to the snow. Fortunately, it didn't really seem to make a difference, so I recommend not even bothering. Next, I took a paintbrush and I'm gonna just, again, go over more with the Mod Podge. And then I took a rough paintbrush and I dipped it in white paint, and then I just splattered the white paint all over the wood using my finger. You can do this with a toothbrush also. This paintbrush that I'm using has really, really hard bristles, so it works really well for that, but you can definitely use a toothbrush and just stick it in the paint. You don't need a lot of paint. You don't want a ton of it. And then just use your finger and flick it on, and it makes it look like the snow has fallen all over the wood, and I even did it right over the truck. And you can also do it by banging it on your finger like I just did. And look how stinking cute that is. Next, I took the pine cone that was in my pick and I just dipped the edges with a little bit of white paint. I wanted it to match the snow at the bottom and the snow that I just flung all over it. So you can see all the snow and how it goes onto the truck. Next, I'm just going to take the pick and I'm going to hot glue it right to the top. Now I kind of bent this pick into a couple of different directions. Instead of it just having all straight up, I bent it so part of it went one way and part of it went the other. So I'm just going to glue that right to the top of my board. And it takes a minute for the glue. So I actually use my blow dryer for each one of these steps to kind of dry the glue a little bit faster. And I just put it on cold setting. Next, we're going to take the bow that I made, and like I said, I just laid down two different types of burlap, one big ribbon, and then a small piece of the buffalo check red ribbon. And I just tied it all off in the center really quickly with a piece of twine, and it works so nice to create such a cute little bow. So I glued the bow onto the top, and then I glued the pine cone on the top of that. And then this sign is finished, and it can sit on a shelf all by itself. I think it came out adorable. It looks so rustic. And I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite projects that I've made. I got these window clings, they're like vintage style at Dollar Tree. They're super cute. At this little frame at Dollar Tree, it's got like a silver stripe around the outside, and the back just pops right off. And it's just cardboard back. Some of their silver tinsel, some white paint, and some Mod Podge. And I also ended up using some glitter. So the first thing I did was pull apart the frame. I saved the ribbon because I'm going to use that. Next, I'm going to paint the insert white. You can use chalk paint, acrylic paint, whatever you want to use. I used white acrylic paint. And I did a couple of coats. Then I glued the corners together because they're slit. So I glued all 4 of the sides together. Next, I picked out the 2 window clings I wanted to use. I decided to use Rudolph and the Merry Christmas. So I'm deciding where I wanted to stick them and my placement. Then I'm going to add some Mod Podge. And I added way too much Mod Podge, so now you get to watch me take some of the Mod Podge off. Once I had it all evened out, I just set my window clings where I wanted them and lightly brushed over them with my fingers. I didn't want my fingers to have Mod Podge on them when I touched the actual window clings, so I was very careful as to not touch around the edges, just the inside. Then next I took the Mod Podge and went over each window cling. They're kind of shiny, so when you use the matte Mod Podge, it dulls them down a little bit. And it also gives it extra security, holds them on there better. And see how cute that is so far? I love these window clings. I love the whole vintage Christmas look. Next I took some of the tinsel and I just glued it around the edge of the whole inside of the little cardboard insert that we used. I used my little silicone makeup applicator to push it down so I didn't burn my fingers. And this thing is great for $1 at Dollar Tree, right in the makeup department. And the hot glue just doesn't stick to it. And you don't have burnt fingers. And this has such a cute vintage vibe to it. I love it. I just cut the excess, and look how adorable that is. Next, I took the Mod Podge and I ran it around the edges where it was all white. And I just put a nice thin coat on. And I probably should have done this before I did the tinsel, but it was kind of an afterthought. And then I just sprinkled the glitter all around so it stuck to the Mod Podge. And then shook the excess off. And I know it's hard to see on video, but it looks super cute. And see the sparkle? I love it. It's so adorable. And looks so vintage. Next, I'm going to put the back into the frame. Now that I glued the edges, it actually went back into the frame really tightly, so I didn't feel like I needed to glue it in there. And as you can see, the silver on the edge of the frame matches the tinsel. Then I just took the hanger and I put it back on because we're hanging it vertically instead of horizontally. So I just hot glued it back onto the top, and that's it. Such a cute project with a super cute vintage vibe to it. I absolutely love the way this turned out. I mean, how adorable is that? Those long cylinder vases from Dollar Tree. Some of the fake snow from Dollar Tree, but you could use Epsom salt if you'd like. These window clings are from Dollar General, but they do have them at Walmart and at Dollar Tree. A battery operated candle. So the first thing I did was take my vase, and I'm just going to stick the window clings right to the vase because they are made for windows, which are glass, so they'll stick right to this vase with no glue or Mod Podge. So I just picked two designs that I liked, and I liked the truck that was facing front and the tree with the little deer I stuck on the other side. And I left a little gap between the window cling and the bottom of the vase so that when I fill it with the snow, you'll be able to see the snow on the bottom, but it'll also look like the cling is sitting on the snow. So it'll look like the picture is sitting on the snow, I should say. Once I have those attached, I'm going to dump a little of the snow in. And this is a great project because you can change this out with the seasons. So say come Valentine's Day, you can leave the snow in and add some Valentine's Day clings to it. Easter, you can take out the snow and take off the Valentine's Day clings. And you can add jelly beans at the bottom or some of the fake grass and put an Easter bunny cling on it, and you can do it for all the holidays. And it's something you can leave out year round. Now once I have the snow and it's met the bottom of the window clings, I'm just going to add my candle. And how adorable is that? It lights up the cling. You can't even tell it's a window cling. It looks like it actually came that way. And I love the orange glow of this particular battery operated candle. It came from Walmart. Next, I just took some twine, wrapped it around the top, and I just wrapped it a few times, and then I just tied a bow in the center. I just gave it a little extra something at the top. And you can do this, or you can use ribbon, or you can just leave it plain because it looks super cute plain too. And I just cut off the ends, and look at how adorable that is. So super rustic looking, and like I said, it's something you can use year round. You can also take something else and add it like a bell or one of these little ornaments that came from Walmart to hang off if you wanted. Just embellish it however you want. This project is super easy to make. It didn't really cost a lot of money, and I absolutely love the way it turned out.